Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Blessing Richard, and today we'll be talking about premarital counseling and premarital preparation, like we know it. I'm trying to strike a difference between what we conventionally know as premarital counseling and what really is premarital preparation. Premarital counseling, like we know it, is commonly done after announcing your engagement and fixing the wedding dates. So after your your wedding has been announced and you fix the wedding date, then usually in a religious setting, you start your premarital counseling. That's maybe when you as a couple starts meeting with the marriage committee or the marriage department of the church, and you start going through what they call some lectures with you. Sometimes it could be 3 months before the time, it could be 6 weeks before the time, or uh, whatever the time is according to the uh, uh, constitution of the church. Premarital counseling is also community based. Is often is often tied to religious institution. It is the uh, step that must be taken according to religious institution. It could be a mosque, it could be a church, whatever the setting is you want to get married. So, but that is what is done before them. Or what is premarital counseling? Another approach to premarital counseling is it's a precondition for the wedding ceremony to be conducted. In some churches or some mosque or some religious places, you are not married in that church except you go through this particular procedure. So it's a mandatory procedure you have to go to. So some persons approach it just to fulfill all righteousness. I have to go to this particular hurdle before I get married in this particular establishment. Another approach to premarital counseling is it's usually done reluctantly and to fulfill all righteousness. I just mentioned that in the other points. Most times it is done reluctantly. Most times some persons don't even know some persons cannot really appreciate the reason why they have to go through that counseling session. They just feel, oh, let them do what they want to do quickly and let me get married and leave this particular step. I want to be married by all means. So the approach to it is just you don't take it seriously. It's not taken seriously. Another uh fact about that is that facilitators often use their personal experience of marriage and native intelligence. Most times the people in this particular department are not trained. Well, it's a voluntary work. It's not a work they are paid for. Most times, it's a voluntary work. And when they get there, they are not trained to do what they are doing. They are not trained to counsel couples before they get married. And so what they do most time is they counsel couples according to the experiences they've gathered in the job. Experiences are not to be overlooked. They are very important to use in counseling. Experience is important. The knowledge you've gotten from culture or from your own marriage is important. But one thing we should know is there's difference between experiences you gathered in your own marriage or the marriage of other persons and um your professional knowledge. In the profession, you're taught tools. You're given a background of how this is supposed to be done. This is the approach you take to this. It does not matter if you're married or not. You see, the knowledge you go to the university to gather is different from the one you gather in your father's house. So even if you were taught in your father's house that you eat this way and you go to the university and your lecturer comes and tells you this is the way you ought to eat, You will most like ditch the one you learned in your father's house and take the one your lecturer is teaching, because that one has a global recognition. It's something that has been tried, tested, and it works. You see, so most times you don't have that particular background, and I think I have to speak to this also. When the marriage committee department, or the department that handles premarital counseling, needs to from time to time be trained. The church authority has to put effort into training and retraining them, else they will keep training the couples according to the experiences they've gathered and whatever tools they have. Then now, what is pre-marriage? What is actually pre-marriage preparation? Pre-marriage preparation is comprehensive. It's a comprehensive preparation to examine a couple's perspective on marriage, a couple's perspective on relationship based on their background. The first check you do while preparing a couple to marry is their perspective. What is their mindset about marriage? What is the knowledge they already have? Where did they gather those knowledge from? Some of them gather those knowledge from their family. They gather those knowledge from friends, gather from school, from life in general. Some persons believe husbands should be like this. Some persons believe wives should be like this. All those knowledge are things they gathered from one place or the other. So you have to test their their perspective. Is their perspective correct? Is their perspective wrong? Does there need to be a change in their perspective or their mindset to marriage? So that's the first thing that is done, that's supposed to be done in pre-marriage preparation. Another thing is creating their user manual. Another thing in marriage preparation that must be done is that couples have to be encouraged to organize their marriage themselves. They must have a plan for their marriage, plan for each department of the marriage, their finances, childbirth, recreation. They have to have plans for every part of their marriage. Have plans and document it. So the counselor is not there just speaking to or talking at couples. He's encouraging them to reflect, to think, and have a vision of the kind of marriage they want to have. When they have a vision of the kind of marriage they want to have, then they document it. When it's documented, they are now given tools to ensure that the vision they have, they can accomplish it. They're giving tools to actualize the kind of marriage they want to have. Another thing to consider in premarital preparation is defining expectations and how you will work with your partner. What do you want in your marriage? What do you expect in your marriage? What do you expect from your partner? These things have to be discussed, have to be spoken about. These things have to be documented also. And your partner has to know, this is my expectation of you in our intimacy area. This is my expectation of you in our finances. Okay, can I live up to these expectations? Let's come to a place where, okay, you can compromise this, I can't compromise this. This is where so the couples have to know their expectations. What do you want? What does this person want? Can I do it? Can there be an alternative to this particular expectation? And the last I'm going to speak about is developing skills, attitudes, and confidence for a healthy, long-lasting marriage. You have to build skills. Premarital preparation is a place where you build skills. You don't just go through it because you have to go through it. It's a place where you have to build skills. Don't leave that place until you build skills, you build the requisite attitudes to make your marriage work. Build the skills, get the tools you need to make your marriage work. That is what premarital preparation is all about. And when are you supposed to start preparing for marriage? Marriage preparation goes back to your childhood. Your childhood experiences is a bedrock for your marriage, whether done consciously or unconsciously. However a parent treats you, however a parent or train a child, when you train a child as a parent, you're training that child for marriage. In as much as you're training a child, you're bringing up a child for the child to thrive in life tomorrow, or however you want that child to be. Whatever you're doing to a child, you're doing it. You're preparing for you're preparing that child for marriage. So parents have to be careful the way they train their children. Train their children with the mind that this person is going to marry another person tomorrow. This person is from another background, from another home, from another culture entirely. So children have to be trained with the mind that when you're training them to do a particular job or profession, you're not only doing that, you're also training them for marriage. And just like the years they're going to spend in marriage is more than the years they spent as singles. So the years you spend in marriage is longer than the one you spend as a single. So it's something that has to be approached carefully.